Hi everyone, I'm here with another layout and more like an art journal page with a picture. So I'm starting grabbing the papers, and as always, I like to do to give a more artistic look. I like to blend papers with brushes because I think it gives a more natural touch and it looks blended and more artistic. Um, of course, you can do this as well if you have masks, but I'm using my brushes here that makes me just set, and I'm just creating like a texture background there with the paper. As you can see, it is masked, and again, revealing papers and controlling this blends here. And also changing variety of brushes. Here I'm using a pattern brush from the set using patterns, and then I have a blender on the set, and I'm gonna blend this pattern that I did and blending everything. Almost look like, if you're familiar with Rio pastels, to me gives that look. I'm now taking my picture here that I'm going to use. I forgot to put the shift tool and to constrain there. So I'm gonna use here the same concept that I'm gonna to blend this picture. First, I'm putting just a gradient on top of it and clipping that just to give and play with blend mode, just to give a little tint to the picture there. And I'm gonna reduce the opacity a little bit because it is about snow. I want it to be a more bluish and editing, the levels and all that. Getting to the right size, and I'm using Lynn Grieveson blended brushes, and I'm gonna bring this back. This brush has as a brush and as a mask as well, so you can use whatever you want. And what I'm gonna use now is I'm going to kind of remove and put it back the mask with different brushes for me to give it this more painted look. This is what I like to do to be more organic, to not seem like, oh, I just put on a mask and or a clipping mask. To give more this look that you really painted the picture in. This is the style I like to do with my layouts and my art journal. Um, so I'm playing with different textures that you can see. I put too much, I remove, I put too much, I remove, and we go like that. Just putting more brightness there. And I'm gonna now start with the little bits and pieces of paint and things like that. So I'm gonna grab some paint and start layering on top and underneath to give again, because again, we mask the picture, but what I like to do is how can I unify this picture with a look of a painted art journal, right? Because my paper art journals, they are done with painting, and I want to give them the same look on my digital art. So a way to do that is using the paint that the kids have to kind of incorporate. And not always you have to use as a designer gives you. This is just a first point. Sometimes I will mask, and you're gonna see that I will mask this painting, as you can see here. The reason why I mask and I don't delete is to preserve, because this is all, I don't plan anything, so if I don't like it, I can put it back with a brush. I'm now sampling colors from the layout again, just to give more unified look. This is another Lynn Grieveson brush, so I'm gonna stamp there, and I'm gonna have all the links in the notes. And she has this great alphabetic brush, so again, giving texture, and also I didn't want to use a word art. I want to look like a stamp that's just sort of like on a paper art journal. So this one is going to be big because this is the attention that I wanted the eye to go to the boots that today. So again, finishing here, I love this kind of painty um, floral there. So I kind of put it on the side, reposition things, And I'm gonna repeat that on the other side, but try to move it a little bit. I changed because I thought it was a little, it need a little pop, so I just went to the saturation level here. And because I don't want it to be 100% like the other one, I'm gonna mask the second one, and I'm gonna again play with the brush and remove some of it. Um, you're gonna see that I'm using, I think, my mix media set here. And I don't want flowers, so I'm gonna grab this one and just remove a little bit of that top paint. And then it looks more organic, just a little bit. Again, a lot of painting, a lot of moving back and forth, but it's actually a really fast layout if you do just with paints and brushes. You can do a really nice painted look with that. I wanted to give though more attention to this picture. So what I'm done here, I put a new layer and I put a gradient fill, and I'm gonna put the gradient fill to the bottom there, as you can see there. So it has black and transparency. That's the gradient fill that I'm using here, black to transparency. And I'm gonna choose a color, and I'm gonna clip to the black of the gradient fill. I'm gonna play with blend modes to see if I like something, if change something. I end up with multiply. And as you can see, you just make the top a little bit brighter than the bottom there. So, and I'm just playing a little more with the picture to see if I can make it brighter there. But these are some things I like to use there. I'm just increasing the black a little bit, um, and trying to play with the color on the gradient to see if I like the blue instead of the green, but I didn't. So it's just a little something that it makes a little bit of a difference there. And I love to play with gradients. And that's it. And just gonna put this two elements that are more 3D elements, stitch and a flower, actually a branch. Um, and gonna play a little bit of the shadow. I'm gonna separate the shadow, something that I love on the Photoshop. And I'm gonna warp and right click and wrap. First I'm gonna separate the shadow and I'm gonna warp that and just move the shadow a little bit and to look more realistic. Um, and I'm gonna duplicate this shadow to be a little darker, and I'm gonna decrease the opacity a little bit on the top one. And that's it. Thanks for watching.